Hello, hello, hello. I'm back in the room. So a little bit out of puff because it's been dog walk time. Just do dog cam. It's easier. Gives me a chance to catch my breath. What are we doing? What are we doing tonight? I don't know. Oh, she's run off. Whew. Bit out of puff. Just got in. Andrew's in. It's his evening. Robert's in. Happy 52nd birthday. Indeed. Remember, send money now. Oh, I get to play ball. I'm so pleased. How much of my life now do I spend throwing you the ball? All the time. All the time. Oh. Hey. There's some mad skills we got there. Any more? Any more? This isn't good content. Oh, she's rolled the ball. Oh, just out of reach. Should I just roll it back? That was good, wasn't it? Oh, that's too big a stretch. It's too big. Excuse me. Cake? Oh no cake for me. I've had enough. You see, because it's also Shrove Tuesday, so with pancakes. So I've overdone it a bit with the sugary stuff. Because I had a little bit of cake. Because I got over a bit of birthday, just a little bit, literally a wafer thin slice of birthday cake. But then pancakes. I'm sorry, I don't care. I'm gonna have pancakes. I just don't care. Lemon, a little bit of sugar. That's it. I'm done. So my bloods are a little bit. I'm a little bit elevated, but I'm going to live with it for one night. 4 candles indeed. Just the one, actually. Convinces this is something me and the mods threw together. A cake. Exactly. I only had 1 candle. 4 candles. Yeah, 4 candles. Tom says, my dad says your live stream name sounds like a Gary Glitter album. We're not allowed to mention Gary Glitter. He's out. He's been released. He's free. I'm the leader of the gang, I am. I'm the leader, I'm the man who put the banging gang. Can't sing that anymore. You're not allowed to sing it. It's on the banned list. Remember, Gary Glitter was a very bad man. He's a very bad man. Very bad. Just never get your computer fixed at PC World. I think that was the lesson. Wasn't it? Was that the lesson of that one? I'm not sure. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. It looks like I pulled that ball out of my anus, but I didn't. It's because she drops the ball round the back of my chip. Where I'm sitting, she drops the ball right behind where I sit. And so every so often, I lean back and I can feel a ball in the small of my back. It's a little present, isn't it? Isn't it a little present? That's how much you love me. It's lovely, it is. Convinces he does my joke. Derek's in. He says hello. Sty says happy birthday. Thank you. Derek says he's 64. Just for a laugh. How's the light to dish light ratio? I don't know. I didn't check it. I was kind of in a rush to come in. Wheeze. It was a bit cold out there tonight. Let me have a look. Let me go. I think he'd leave me alone because it's my birthday. He'd leave me alone, wouldn't he? Yeah, it's alright. There are no dislikes. Now either they've finally locked him up, or he's gone to bed early. Brendan, isn't it? It's Brendan. He's gone to bed early. Mr. Nude. Oh no, the dog's got to play with a frisbee. We've got some frisbee action. Wait a minute, I've got to get that. I've got to get some frisbee action on quick. The kid's got a frisbee at the weekend. And I think it's the first time she's played with it. There we go. Are you alright? You okay? Okay then. I think frisbee. Can't really play frisbee in here though, because I don't know, might knock a guitar over or something. Andrew says, Darren, do you think Pink Floyd will ever reunite? And would I be... No, I'd not go and see him. I'll watch it on the telly. Come on. Gaz says, happy birthday indeed. And Derek says, happy again. Happy, happy birthday day to me. Vince says, my birthday last Friday. Yeah, couldn't it? And Cyrus says, oh yeah, it's your birthday. Exactly. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the happy birthdays. And John says, happy birthday too. Oh, Thomas says, if Stephen Wilson has been locked up, then we'll know he's the troll. Ah, he's not the troll. He's too busy making records. So it wouldn't be him. Oh, I've got a bit of a wheeze. It's because I'm 52, so it's downhill all the way, you know that. Ever since I hit 50, phew, I'll tell you, Sniper's Alley, mate. Sniper's Alley. U2, oh God, what, people still listen to U2? I gave up on them in the late 90s. Yeah. And that was it. Nobody cares about U2. No, I'm not. I don't, no. Not for me, thank you. Not for me. But did you enjoy it? Have you listened to it? Is that the one where they're redoing their old songs? Is it that one? Alexandros is in. And you can tell he's Greek because he's got the most Greek name ever. Alexandropoulos. What a great name. What a great name. Thomas says, my dad enjoyed Gary Glitter. Can we hear some more? No. I'm all out. I'm all out. I don't know anymore. I can't say I'm a fan. I just remember it being on in the 70s. Do you remember the 70s? You know, it was the good old days. You know, Gary Glitter, you know, Rolf Harris, yeah, Jimmy Savile. Oh, those were the days. And that's without all the rock stars they didn't charge. Convinces, went to Richard Sounds and finally got a new pair of headphones. They were on display for try before you buy it. And we went through the faff of waiting to test them. And turns out they didn't have them in. Yeah, that sounds like my experience of shopping. That's why I don't go shopping. I just buy things on the internet and have them delivered. Yeah, I mean, I recommend these ones. Many years ago I did the review. This is my second pair. These are Audio Technica ATH M50s. I had a silver pair. They were like an anniversary one, but they fell off. Still got them in the drawer, and I didn't have the heart to throw them away, but they just got old. And I like these ones. And look, they got the thing that unscrews. Oh, I can't get it undone. Typical. It's got a cut that comes in and out, but I can't seem to unscrew it. That's it. I got it. See? And you can... I don't know what that's for. I think it's so you can store them. Or you can have I think there's a curly lead or a straight lead. Yeah. If you like that sort of thing, then just pop in. But these, I use these. I do all my mixing on these. All my mixing. That's why my records sound so bad. Because I mix on headphones. You know that cardinal sin that you're not supposed to do? Well, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that goes, I've mixed on headphones all my life and I don't intend to change now. So I recommend Audio Technica ATH M50Xs. They're rather good. Well, I think they're good. And I got a pair of Audio Technica Bluetooth ones as well, because they were in a sale. And... I don't know what they're called, but they're really good as well. On Fire HMV. That's been a while ago now because my other ones were playing up. I had some no-brand Bluetooth ones. They sounded all right, but the battery life was a little bit random. It happens. This is the thing with all these rechargeable things: is after a few years of service, the battery life goes a little bit, and you can't do anything about it. You just got to throw them away. Or, oh wow, have you given me the ball again? Oh, you've dropped it. Where did it go? Oh no, where did it go? Oh, God. Fetch. Ooh, you knocked me coffee over it. Alexander says thanks. Well, you're welcome. I love Greek. I love Greek names. Again, it's the cradle of civilization, isn't it? The Greeks and the Romans. And I just love the rhyme, because your names have rhymes. You know, they're very rhythmic and have lots of syllables in, and have a rhythm to them. And I like it. We have boring. I'm Darren Locke. How boring is that? It's really boring. I want an exciting name. I don't want a boring name. Death Row says you two hit a resurgence with those younglings after 9/11 for some reason. Why? Andrew says, Mike Oldfield is putting out his demos on vinyl. Yeah, I know, I saw that. This is for, excuse me, wheeze. This is for Record Store Day. Oh no, not Record Store Day. Not Record Store Day. Yeah, there's another bloody one. Brendan, Mr. Nude, wanted me to talk about it, but do I have to? Let's have a look. Let's see if I can find Record Store Day. Record Store Day. List it. Record Store. Record Store Day. Record Store. Record Store Day. Where's the listing? Oh, wait a minute. It went off. RSD 2023. And we have web or PDF. Oh, let me have a look. Oh, God. There's loads of the bloody things. Oh, not again, dog. I can't keep doing this. I'm trying to do a live stream. Can't you see? My audience beckons. They want my undying attention. I can't split myself between them and you, little doggy. Hello. Who's a lovely doggy? Who's a good girl? You a good girl? Of course you are. Love it. Sorry. It's a lovely doggy. Who's a lovely doggy? Where was I? Record Store Day, because everybody loves Record Store Day. Can we fit it all in? That's what she said. Yeah, if we do it like that, then I can see. So we've got the 1975 and Terry Callier and Tori Amos, Little Earthquakes, the B-sides. That could be interesting. Chet Baker, he's got a few albums in there. The Baker Gurvitz Army. I've heard that record. It's what taking massive amounts of cocaine sounds like, put to vinyl. Yeah, very, very fast. Bjorky, Frank Black Keys. I'm just reading names. Blur, they've got their special collector's edition, which was previously only available in Japan, I think. 10,000 copies. They're spoiling us. Brownout, what a great name. David Byrne's got the complete score from the Catherine Wheel. Could be interesting. Wouldn't mind a repressing of that. I think I heard it a long time ago. You've got Captain Beefheart. I'm going to do what I want to do. A live album. 5,000 copies. Larry Correll. That could be good. Right, that's the C's done. Now we'll go back to the top. Cranberries. Wake Up, Smell the Coffee. Good album. 4,000 copies of that. The Cure. 10,000 copies of Show. Death. Who loves a bit of Death? Dio. No, it's not me. It's Old Dirty Bastard. Doctor Who, The Amazing World of Doctor Who. The Doors have got quite a few. These are 3-inch vinyl. Is that right? 3-inch vinyls? What are they like that big? That can't be right, can it? 3 inches? It's just tiny. No one's ever satisfied with 3 inches. Just ask the missus. That's an old joke. What else have we got? Duran Duran. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I think that's brain cell surgery picture disc, because they often do that. Didn't they do a Tarkus picture disc? It's alright if you like picture discs. Got a Fleetwood Mac one in a 12-inch format. What else have we got? A Flock of Seagulls. I ran so far away. Eggefuth. Garbage. Yeah, everyone's a bit garbage. Gong. Jose Gonzalez. I used to like him back in the day. He was good, wasn't he? Groove Armada. I remember them. Haircut 100. Fantastic Day. Jerry Harrison, The Red and the Black. That's his first solo album. Could be interesting. I remember when that came out. Back in the... wasn't that about 1988? Wasn't that about 1988? Let me have a look. Am I right? What does it say? Oh no, 1981. Got that wrong. Miles out. How embarrassing. Maya Hawke. She's Ethan Hawke's daughter. She's in Stranger Things. She's got a 7-inch. David Holmes. He's good. He does lots of things. His solo album's pretty good. He's got a few solo albums, but he's a good one. I like that song that he does. Jesus Jones. God, who remembers them? Joan Jett. Up your alley. Really? Elton John. I'm just reading lists. This is what you want. This is what you get. Carole King is no relation to B.B. King. John Lennon. It's a 10-inch box set of Give Me Some Truth. Was that a compilation? That was a compilation. Was that a compilation? Yeah, I think that's a compilation. Blimey. 9 of them. It's alright. That's only 500 though, so that one's going to be collectible. Suede, or the London Suede, just in case the Americans get confused. Madness. I do like to B-side the A-side Volume 3. Madness is Liberty of Norton Folgate is reissued this week on vinyl in a double edition, because for those of you who don't remember, I'm a big fan of that album, and when it was released in a box set, and then there was a single out version of the album, and then there's like a double version of the album, and this is like the complete vinyl edition, which I've got on pre-order, which I'm actually looking forward to. So when you say to me, Darren, what are you looking forward to? That one, I forgot it's coming out. Paul McCartney, Red Rose Speedway. Mr. Big, God blimey. Motorhead. Now that could be good. Nina's 99 Zane Luftballon. Love that one. That takes you back. That's funny because maybe it's down the bottom here. This list seems a bit different to the one I saw the other day. I think they've added some stuff to it. Pearl Jam, anyone? PM Dawn. Now you're talking. The Pogues. Porky Tree. They've got one. Susie Quattro. Jonathan Richman. Probably best known for his appearance in Something About Mary. Rolling Stones. Beggar's Banquet. Sparks, A Wolf in Tweeter's Clothing. That's their their first album. Wasn't that previously released as Half Nelson? Or am I getting carried away? I can't remember. It probably wasn't. I don't know. It might be there. I had a few. They existed in different times. Ringo Starr. Supergrass, St. Petersburg EP. Could be interesting. And Tom Tom Club. That could be good. I've already got it on vinyl though. I've got it on coloured vinyl. Lots of various artists. And yes, live at the Knoxville Auditorium. That is a breakout from the that box set. You know, was it £650 box set? That is a breakout. So that might be interesting. Yeah, and so yeah, it could be worth that one. That one could be a thing. But was there a Mike Oldfield one? Did I miss Opus 1? No, it's not there. That's weird. I'm sure it was there. The list is out. Let's look at the PDF. Maybe it was on the PDF. Let me have a look. Because I'm sure. Oh, it's gone. Oh. Now, I'm sure it was on the official list. Because I wanted to show you. Updated 21st of the 2nd. That's interesting. Okay, well maybe. Like I said, from the last time I looked at this, I think you might hear that Opus 1 has been delayed or isn't happening. We don't know. Derek says Roy Wood's Wizard. Okay. Thomas wants to talk to Convinced. Convinced says, he then told us I could get him home delivered, wrote down my phone number and address wrong. I'm still waiting 4 days later. Why do you put it on display if you can't buy it there and then? Well, in the old days, what I'd say, oh, can I buy the display model then? And they'd knock usually a considerable percentage off the price. I've bought televisions and things. I bought a hi-fi, a TV, and a boombox like that. In the old days, when you could go into Rumbelows, Dixon's, Radio Rentals, Curry's. Can't do that now. Sarah says, why do I get the feeling what was new recording of Dark Side of the Moon will be like Sting's My Songs? Well, again, a lot of these people, it's that line, isn't it, from Jurassic Park, when Jeff Goldblum says, it's not whether we can, it's whether we should. And look, nobody's interested. Only the diehards are interested in Roger Waters redoing, I thought it was going to be like a live album, like Floyd did with, was it Half a Pulse? They put that out, and that was good fun. But it doesn't replace the original. But by doing this, and again, he was going to release it the exact same day as the box set, and now it's been pushed back to May. You see, the thing is they don't want anything to. Again, there's this thing called passing off, where if you bring something out, it's very similar to something else, whether it's packaging or content or whatever, you can be accused of that. And I know it's very odd because Roger Waters is was Pink Floyd, and the remaining owners of the name. Remember, he isn't in Pink Floyd anymore and hasn't been in Pink Floyd for a very long time. In fact, he's been out of the band longer than he was in it. And I think Gilmore Mason have every right to object and get an injunction and say, no, you can't release it at the same time. You're going to have to delay it, because it could affect sales of the box set, and and you're also trading off the goodwill of the fans, Yeah. So yeah. But wait and see. It'd be good for a laugh, I imagine. Good for a laugh. Oh, I've lost the stream. Where is it? Thomas says HD 650 headphones are good, but not for portable use. And Tom Pink says happy birthday. Indeed, happy birthday. And Convinced is buying the same headphones as Thomas has mentioned. Ooh, because I think Convinced and Thomas are the same person. Edward says happy birthday. Thank you. And he says his current headphones are Bose QC20s. There's some fascinating headphone talk going on. And Derek says, I just watched Tubular Bill's 50s show on YouTube. And says happy birthday, and thank you. I'm just here for the happy birthdays. Don't mind me. I'll just bathe in the appreciation. They're really going on about headphones. And says someone mentioned Chet Baker, or did I mishear? Yeah, you misheard. It weren't me. Oh God, bloody hell. Tom Pink says, Garbage are an interesting band, got some time for them. Yeah, they were alright. I liked the first 2 albums, and then I kind of zoned out. I liked, was it version 2? That was quite a good, fun one. It's got Push It on it, one of my favourites. I like that one. Oh God, they're still going on about headphones. It's Jerry Harrison's birthday today. What a coincidence. Robert Mugabe's birthday. I was once compared to Robert Mugabe by a certain member of that band. Still amuses me to this day. Also share it with Michael McIntyre, which proves that we live in an uncaring, godless universe. It's cold out there. But William Peterson from Manhunter, that cheers me up. Oh, and Wendy James from Transvision Vamp, which I only found out, was it last year, because the missus always winds me up, says, oh, you really like Wendy James from Transvision Vamp. Or because once when, I don't know, one of their songs was on Top of the Pops, I went, oh, this is good. And it's like, that was it. And she's ribbed me about it ever since. And then I said, I share my birthday with Wendy James. There you go. There's still a chance for me yet. Derek's making rude jokes about Rasputin. Thomas says we need more Roger Waters videos. I'm all Rogered out. I'm completely Rogered. It's just so boring. He's so mad. I mean, like Putin today, blaming everyone but himself for his condition. Thing is the Russians believe him because the propaganda machine is so strong. It's very, very sad, and it ain't ever ending. It ain't ever ending. It ain't ever ending. Oh, apparently, so I've just gone to the Daily Mail website. Prince Harry and Meghan have broke their silence on that South Park episode, and they've blasted it as boring and baseless. Oh. 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 No, it was speculation about them taking legal action, which blasted as boring and baseless. Okay, who cares? It's a funny episode. Anyway, what else is there? Derek's just gibbering away to himself. He can't help himself. Let's just hide him, because it's, you know, I know who it is. Tom Pink says, Nana tried to warn us about those spy balloons 40 years ago. Indeed. It was, again, and for those of you who don't know, it's about having a party, letting off some balloons, and it triggering a whole nuclear war. Because in those days, we had the spectre of nuclear war and AIDS to contend with. This is why my generation's so tough. We don't give a fuck about anything. And Hans, he loves Red Rose Speedway. It's still going on. No Roger Waters Dark Side of the Moon. Well, what does that mean? No, Roger Waters Dark Side of the Moon. What does that mean? I don't know what you mean. Andrew said, I couldn't find the Oldfield one. No, neither could I. It was there the other day, because I looked at the list. Maybe it's been withdrawn. Maybe, like I said, sometimes things get withdrawn from the list if they aren't available. Not Oldfield. Open one. That was no nine. 20, 28. Allow. Here we go. Here is, he said, the news of it. Wink. There we go. And it's, yeah, it's got everything. Again, I've already heard it. I've already heard it, but it got a new cover. Got a new cover. So that could be a thing if it's going to be released, but it seems to have slipped off the list. Thomas says, oh, he's talking about headphones as well. God. Thomas says, the good old days when shop staff knew what they were doing. Did they? Did they ever know what they were doing? No. They're largely indifferent. Kevin, oh, he's still talking about headphones. I don't want to talk about headphones. Tom says, I watched that documentary about that band you didn't mention. I didn't mention any band. That's the thing. And it was a drag. And the segments with got me sad. What was that for? Yeah, it was... I don't know why anyone would willingly sit through it. Like I said, I rented it from America. So it only cost me about £4. So that was the least money I was prepared to spend. Least money. it was beyond dog shit. It's just absolute dog shit. As I said in my review, as a documentary, it failed on anything. It doesn't really fulfil its promise as a documentary. You don't really learn anything about the band otherwise. It just seems to be misery. Misery. And the fact that they only used about, I don't know, I bet if you put all the bits from the few ex-members that they interviewed together, you wouldn't even get about 3 minutes of actual dialogue from those people. Wow. I mean, I can see why one of them said he wished he'd never taken part, because he thought it was about an overarching view of the band, and instead it was, well, that, which was, well, utterly pointless. So yeah. Alexander Ross says, Waters and Gilmore behave like spoiled toddlers. The rest of us is really funny, especially during these dark ages we live in. It is amusing. It is amusing. I mean, but Roger Waters is, he's just, I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know, he's obsessed with, I mean, he's very contradictory, because he moans about the sanctions against Russia, but wants sanctions against Israel, you see. Again, if he really believed in all this stuff, he'd want sanctions for both, wouldn't he? So he chooses one side over the other. It's it's quite bizarre. It's quite bizarre. But there you go. Hans doesn't use headphones anymore. He's got tinnitus. No, I've never heard of that artist. It was great, says John. I think he might be talking about South Park. Thomas says, I find Harry and Meghan South Park hilarious. They should grow up. It was daft. Harold says, congrats, absolutely. Tom Pink says, that cover is bad. What's with Oldfield and planes in the sea? Well, he used to fly, didn't he? He's like Gary Newman. He learnt to fly, and so that's why 5 miles out and all that stuff, and paper airplanes and things. Don't care for it myself. Think the album's sleeve looks a bit pony. I mean, when they did the album sleeves for the singles of Troubadours 2, they did many varieties of the. I'm going to show you. No, wait a minute. Let me just finish my coffee and I'll show you. Where is it? Oh, there's loads of them. Oh, damn, there's loads of them. Oh, can you get them from here? That's the question. You alright? Did I disturb you? Oh, there's a ball. Of course there's a ball. See, Sentinel. Look at that. Look, that was good. And then for this one, they went a bit tartan, look. Ooh. And this one's a hologram, look at the hologram, look. Ooh. That was amazing back in the day. Look at that. Ooh. Don't know why I kept these. And then look at that one. Look at that one. But this one came with some postcards which had the bells in different formats, look. Different. Oops. So, got one there, go look. And you've got another one. Ooh. And then that one. Ooh. God, this is the good old days when you could have CD singles. I loved CD singles, they were good fun. weren't they? You'd pick them up for a couple of quid, and there'd be there'd be some good stuff on here. Remixes. Now this one has is it four different remixes of Sentinel, and you got the Bell versus with Vivian Stanshall doing the Bell, MCing, because he was too pissed to do the too pissed to do the album. Can't reach it. Ow, I've strained myself. And you got this one, which is, I just love that one. I loved it one so much that I put it in its own little protective sleeve. Look at that. Just love that. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got the Bell, MC John Gordon Sinclair, Bell, MC Billy Connolly. Okay, wee jobby. MC Otto, that's a German one. Achtung, Jubla, bells. Anyway, and MC Strolling Player, which was what? What do you want? The dog's staring me out. Yeah, from the actual album itself. You've dropped it again. I'll go and get it. But my point being was it's better than that airplane. That design was awful. They could employ the services of someone better, but they didn't. Get back on the shelf. I don't want to go. Get back on the shelf. I don't want to go. I can't do it. It's just too difficult. Why is my life so hard? Get back on the shelf. You sons of bitches. Get back on the shelf. That's it. You're back on the shelf. Oh. And what was I was distracted. The Strolling Player was Alan Rickman. That was it. On the Tubular Bells 2 instead of Vivian Stanshall. But then you all knew that. Hans says, I love all 5 members of Pink Floyd. I don't care about musicians' political views or dementia. You're boring. You're boring, Hans. Stop being so boring. You should care. Andrew says, the one where Darren whistled Tubular Bells. Indeed. Why not? I could do a bit of Omadorn. Thomas says, shop staff are horrendous now. They literally don't know a thing about the shop they work in. Thomas, that's always been the way. What'd you expect? What'd you expect? They get paid minimum wages. They have to deal with the public. They just want to be out there. They just want to get to the weekend and take loads of drugs. That's all they live for. Tom says, I didn't rent it, I didn't pay for it, wink wink, otherwise I wouldn't have bothered. I know, yeah, but I can't, I have to pretend to have done that. No, I rented it because I'm honest. I'm too honest. I've been accused of many things by those bastards, and none of them are true. So no, it was on iTunes. So like I said, it was for rental. So I've got a US iTunes account, so I can watch stuff over there when I'm over here. Now, Pink says the interviews with ex-members are the only interesting parts of it, and even that wasn't that enlightening, no, because it was edited to. I imagine there were hours and hours of interviews. Great, and again, I've got a feeling things were deliberately taken out of context. Like, I'm gonna say it. Pete Sinfield, right? He was saying about Greg Lake being a narcissist and that. I've got a feeling he was describing each one of them, and their worst traits, but they just edited him to have a poke at Greg Lake because the featured artists hated Greg Lake, because they didn't get on, and it's all done deliberately. That whole thing was just a deliberate mush, But hey, if you enjoyed it, good for you. It doesn't serve any other purpose than to tickle the balls of the fans. Your average punter will watch it and go, "What the fuck did I just watch? What the did I just watch?" Doesn't matter, you've got to go and listen to the records. Liam says, I don't know much about Roger Waters, to be honest. Do you think he was always heading down this tinfoil hat direction, or was it a surprise for Pink Floyd fans? Well, no, he's always been a contrary git. He's always been a contrary git. This is it, And I don't know how you can justify a country invading another country, and they say, well, they're cleaning out the Nazis. They're cleaning out the Nazis. They're denazifying Ukraine. But these people would be the same people that object to the West, trying to impose democracy on, Afghanistan and places like that, because there's two sides of the same coin, surely, surely. And this is what you get when you try and point out this to them. They say, yeah, but you're from the UK and you invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, and I'm like, well, I didn't sign off on that. I watched from the edges and went, I don't think this is right. This don't feel right to me, Oh, weapons of mass destruction. Okay, all right. I don't think any invasion is a good thing. I think a lot of this stuff we should leave well alone. Just leave them alone, man. Leave them alone, But this is, especially now that it's come out, intelligence has come out that not only is they're planning to destabilise Moldova, the Russians. Again, this has come via Secret Service interceptions of secret information, but also Belarus, because I guess what's his name, the Belarusian president, isn't going down the line far enough, and so they want to take over there, and they're going to push west, because Putin has said he wants to restore Russia, and what he means by that is he wants to take everything back as it was before World War II, and that's big swathes of the map. Again, many of these countries have had independence since whenever the wall fell and communism fell, and they've struck out on their own. They're not interested in this. They've got the sense of their own identity back. But you can't say this to these people who are pro Russia and pro Putin. They're just like, yeah, but look at what the West has done. So, Joe, I blame the Cossacks. That's who I blame. Back in the day, was it 17th century? That's who I blame, the Cossacks. John says, I'm looking forward to the Yes Blue album, minus Squires. Okay. Oh no, Pyramid Head. I've got Block Q as well. Bye! Thomas says, I like Roger Waters. I find him interesting. I don't know why everyone hates him. Have you not been paying attention, Tom? Have you not been paying attention? Andrew says, I like the hologram one. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It is good. Thomas, he didn't call for peace. He calls for a ceasefire. Putin asked him at the UN Security Council to ask for a ceasefire. You know that's just strategic, so that Putin can rally his troops and come up with a new strategy to invade. What Roger should have said is, I want peace. I want Russia to immediately withdraw from the seized areas. But he didn't say that. And when you say withdraw, people said, I've had people arguing, withdraw. But a ceasefire would stop the fighting. So with the withdraw. An agreed withdrawal means that troops withdraw and the Ukraine troops don't shoot them as they're leaving. That's what a withdrawal is. An agreed withdrawal is a ceasefire with a withdrawal. And you have to explain this to them because they're deliberately thick. You know, they do it deliberately because they know what they're talking about. And that's why, Thomas, Roger Waters is Putin's puppet. Because if he really wanted peace, there's one way to get it, and that's to get Russia out of Ukraine. And you see, the worst thing they did was do this because now Ukraine want Crimea back and those other seized areas. They want it all back. They want it all back, and they don't want Russia in there ever again because there'll always be that threat of invasion. And this was a long time coming. You know, back in the 90s when the West agreed to, take Ukraine's nuclear option away from them on the understanding that if Russia did this, the understanding was that if Russia invaded, we would defend them. And the Russians said, we won't invade. Honest gov, but obviously he had his fingers crossed behind his back. I can't remember the name of the chord. There's an accord. It's late. I'm tired. So... and that's why Roger Waters is an arse. Alright? He asked for the wrong thing. Russell's in this evening. Convinced he's picked his timing right with the Samson tweet. No, what you're not seeing, Convinced, is the Gilmore camp knew all this was happening. They knew that he was going to be releasing a cover album of Dark Side of the Moon. That's why they've accused him of being a thief, because they knew he wanted to have total credit for it. He's been talking. They don't live in a vacuum. That was her reacting to the way he's behaving, and also what he's saying about the Ukraine. It's a very visceral response because he's acting like a brat. Especially as it's the 50th anniversary. The band, the remaining members of the band could have done something interesting about it, got together, done an interview, I don't know, who knows, done a Q&A or something. They could have done something interesting together as a united front, but instead he does this. It's not exactly conciliatory, is it? It's not exactly peacemaking, especially as he's saying, I own it. It belongs to me. I did all the heavy lifting. It's my project. Where are we? Death says, Stevie Wonder, you are the sunshine of my life. Indeed. Convinced says, can you whistle the opening harpsichord section? Well, it's the piano section, actually, of The Exorcist. Oh, wait a minute. I can only do one bit of it because there's a melody. I can't do both melodies because it's on a piano. I can only do one melody. But I gave you a bit of it. Come on. Now was the bit from Music of the Balcony. No, I'm done. What's more than boring than Tubular Bells? Tubular Bells 3? Thomas says, nothing is the same in this country anymore. Everyone is incompetent and everyone is rude. The country's in the toilet. It's always been like that. It's always been in the toilet. It's never been great. We've always been this way. Come on. But there's more of it. I think there's just more of it. It's more noticeable because we get to talk to each other via the internet. I think people realise, because in the old days, you would have experienced incompetence and you would have just gone, oh. But now we can share tales of it. Like when my mum died. My mum died, so you've got to get in touch with the registrar to do a death certificate. So you do all that. And I got a phone call from the registrar. And she asked for me by name. I go, yes, speaking. He said, oh yes, I'm calling about arranging a marriage for Mrs. Locke. And I said, well, it's a bit late for that. We're actually here to do a death certificate. Now, somebody who was, I don't know, a little bit more emotionally fragile may have taken great upset at that. But I laughed it off because I'm a cold, flint-hearted bastard. But I'm used to dealing with that. Every professional organisation I come up with, the insurance company I'm dealing with, the dog's insurance, which again, they keep moving the goalposts. Every week I phone and it's like, no. Look, either make the decision or don't, or either make it for or against. Don't keep me hanging on. Because I'm like £1,200 in the can for this, right? They're only going to pay about, they said there's a 10% knockoff, so I'm only going to get, I don't know, probably £1,000 back because they'll probably knock 200 off. This is for Hannah's treatment and euthanasia fees. So that went on the credit card. I've been charged like 2 months worth of blooming interest. It's going to go into 3 months interest soon, and you can't get an answer. I will be writing a letter of complaint to the insurer's ombudsman once this is dealt with. There will be a letter of complaint. I'm going there. And then there was the whole, every time I get my diabetes medicine, I'm supposed to just do it via an app and it's supposed to arrive. But there's always, I get these weird emails. It's their system. Their system's completely screwed up because I finally figured out what the problem is. Because I enter these discussions with my GP, because I say, contact your GP. And I contact them and they go, we don't know what you're doing. We don't know what the problem is. But it's them. It's pharmacy for you, or whatever it is, pharmacy to you. It's their problem, and it's like, oh God, everything is a ball ache. Everything. Amazon today, delivering my Christmas came early. My birthday presents turned up at 9:10. We was out walking the dog. When on God's green earth do Amazon turn up at 9:10? So I didn't have any birthday presents today, which left me a bit sad. But I didn't let it get to me. But I laughed about it to the missus. I said, whenever has Amazon ever arrived before 9 o'clock? Never. But because we were out walking the dog and not expecting them to arrive, they arrived. Or I wasn't there. But the great thing is now, because we've got electronics, I've got a special doorbell that records everything. It pings me, so my watch tells me that I'm not there to open the door for my parcel. I love technology, and it just makes you a little bit more anxious. There you go. Russell's happy birthday, thank you. Pink says, yeah, Sinfield's part was a bit weird. I got the same feeling. Said like he isn't around to give his opinion. I don't think they'd have asked for it the same way as they wouldn't have asked for Boz Burrell's opinion, and they certainly wouldn't have asked for Gordon Haskell's opinion. Boz Burrell never spoke about the band. I don't think he ever talked about them in interviews, such was his loathing for the featured artist. Again, Sinfield worked with Lake on many projects. I mean, even one of the biggest songs, Christmas songs ever, he, worked on the lyrics for that. And it made him seem like he didn't like the guy, And I've got a feeling he was describing every personality in the band, and have all been a little bit, dysfunctional, And they edited it just to make Greg Lake look really awful. You know, and I thought that was really disingenuous. I thought that edit was, you know, well, that's typical. That's what you expect from the featured artist. Again, this was. I'm so dopey. I know you know I'm dopey, but Facebook, good old Facebook. Again, for those of you on Facebook, you know this because I think I already mentioned it today. Memories. Brought up memories of the day. You see. We've gone past the 21st. Oh no, how can I get back there? Oh, wait a minute. There is a way. There is a way. Is there a way? Yes, there is, because I think I retweeted it. It took me a while to realise that this actually happened on my birthday. Here we go. This was from 2020. I'd listed a KC Mojo CD, right? And only today, when this came up on my memories. See? And they put a block on me listing a CD, a magazine, because it came with a magazine. Yet there were hundreds of other sellers selling the same thing, and it was available on Discogs. And it makes you feel like you're being stalked. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's them. Maybe they're the crazy one who's been harassing me on YouTube all this time. It does show a level of mental illness, and you see it in that documentary. It ain't a healthy place. They're a little bit mental. You've got to be a little bit mental, and certainly to name your dog after a guitarist. Mind you, he named his son after a guitarist too, so there you go. Hey. Thomas says, Tony Blair did bad things indeed. Absolutely. And that's what made me realise, no matter who you vote for, the government always gets in. Again, Blair getting rid of, free university education, making it a pay-to-learn scheme. Basically, that was his selling off social housing, as Thatcher, what Thatcher did. Thatcher selling off social housing and utilities. Blair came along and went, hold my pint. And he basically commercialised university education and turned it into a service sector. Well done, Tony. And then he went, I can do better than that. Falklands War? That's nothing. I can get a load of people killed. Me and George, we've been praying, because that fills you full of confidence, doesn't it? When two world leaders get on the floor and kneel together and pray. You only expect them to do that when the nuclear missiles are heading in their direction. You know what I'm saying? And then, Iraq War. We destabilised the whole region, It caused the rise of ISIS and all the destabilisation in there, and And then Cameron comes along and goes, Tony, I can do better than that. I'm going to destabilise Libya. Hooray! And so that's where you've seen, the rise in Islamic fundamentalism there, and a lot of immigration from sub-Saharan Africa up into Europe, because we destabilised both regions, and then we complain that people come over on the little boats. Tony Blair's fault, David Cameron's fault. There you go. That's who you want to blame, not those people on the boats. Because politicians, they need to be all hung up by their ankles until they say, I don't want to be a politician anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And they should just let me be your benevolent leader, and I will fix everything. I guarantee I'll fix everything. And says, it took 20 years to replace the Taliban with the Taliban, indeed. That was a success, isn't it? Just think of all the money wasted and all the people who died. Well, don't it make you feel good? No. No, it don't. Convinces us featured artist surname starting F and ending P. Could be. It's the featured artist. Tom says, would anyone be hating on poor old Rog? Beats me. Exactly. Why would anyone be hating him? I can't understand. Tom says, yeah, I've been paying attention. What Rogers has been saying, it just doesn't mean I'm pro-Putin. But listen to what he's saying. Listen to his message. Listen. You're not going to get peace via a ceasefire. A ceasefire is just a pause. They think they're going to negotiate. You think you're going to get Zelensky and Putin to negotiate. Zelensky offered to negotiate last year. Right? And what did Putin do? Blasted the hell out of the place. And he went, I'm not going to negotiate now. The time for negotiation passed. And it took dear Rog 6 months to write that initial email. In that time, David Gilmour and Pink Floyd had written, recorded, released a charity single, which Rog then calls Alien. I'm sorry, I don't know how you could like that person after the way he's been behaving. I really don't. He's so disingenuous, he's so full of ego and so full of bullshit. The reason he acts like that is no one's got in his face. Right? No one's actually got into his face and actually said, fuck you, Roger. Because they're all scared of him. You know? No one ever stands up to him. Too scared of him. This is it, and that's why he's got his own way all this time. Because when you're a multi-millionaire, you tend to get your own way. You know? Yeah. That's the worst thing that can happen when a socialist gets money. You know that? It completely perverts them. Jan says, happy birthday. Thank you. Always enjoyed your shows. Keep up the good work. I don't think I can. Is it good work? I don't know. I don't think it's particularly good. I think it's a bit poor, really. I think it's rubbish. I think I should be banned. Someone says, the thing is, Darren, this war is killing so many innocent people. The politicians like Putin and Zelensky don't care about ordinary people. You put the blame onto Zelensky. You put the blame onto him. Wow. Wow. We're going to fall out, Tom. We're going to fall out, mate. So what would you rather have? Zelensky just surrender just to stop people being killed? He could have done that. He came, you know, if you listen to his interviews, he came close to thinking about that, of just letting them roll in and rolling over. And that's what Putin expected. What he didn't expect was a fight, because everyone's scared of the Russian war machine. The Russian war machine isn't what you think it is. It's like the North Korean war machine, you know. It's not what you think it is. No, I mean, it's Zelensky's in an untenable position because you've got an invading force. The invaders are the Russians. What can he do? Just let him invade? Then he's a coward. Then he's found his country. You know? It's like Churchill saying, well, don't fancy the Blitz much, so I'm just going to let Adolf come over and take over because, you know, saving lives. Peace. Nah, sorry. Look, I'm a pacifist. I don't like war. I don't want any of this war, but when somebody invades, you got to kick him in the balls, you know. Give me a gun, I'd shoot Putin myself, you know that. Because that would solve the problem. That would stop the war. Hmm? And says it's more complicated. USA doesn't want peace with Russia. Going to fall out with another one. Let's just... Oh, it's USA. Oh, USA are behind it. So Putin is so naive and stupid that he fell into the USA's trap. Really? Really? You believe that? You think he's that stupid that America could manipulate Vladimir Putin? Really? Really? Tom says, I like Tubular 3. It was different at least. Some parts were weird. But as well, I like it. I'm not a big fan of it. It's too Ibiza. Convince. He's just talking about headphones again. Death Row says, "What's your favourite present today?" I didn't get any because Amazon came when I wasn't here because I was walking the dog. Me and the missus were walking the dog early, and as I said, I didn't get any presents. So pity me. So I didn't get any. I got a really good birthday card drawn by Herb, which I thought was really cool, and it made me laugh a lot. I got some money from the in-laws. That was nice in a guitar themed birthday card because they thought that was fun. I found that funny as well. But no, I'm hoping to get my birthday presents today because it's tomorrow now. So 2-day birthday. I'll take that. Tom says, everyone in the band seems scared to give their opinions in case they anger the founding member. It's also petty. Well, again, you've got to remember at the time they were still on tour. I think now, if it was made now, they'd probably be a little bit free and easier to say something because it's over, it's finished, it's all done. And you've got the Golden Boy, which I called him that. It was called that. It was very, very strange, and I'm sure that it's what they wanted presented. That's what they wanted presented. They're playing weird, yeah, it's that as well. Where are we? I've lost this thread again. Where are we? Oh, Vince says, I burned my KC Mojo anthology CD and uploaded a track onto YouTube. Won't be long before I get a copy strike. Well, that's very naughty of you. But they probably won't bother with you because you're not me. It's only me. It's only me. Tom says, Blair was a disaster indeed. Darren for president. I will be your benevolent dictator. Bring me your women. Man says, Putin learned a lot from Western leaders. Stuart says, happy birthday, Aaron. Been watching in a long time, but never really said much. Thanks for putting me on to a lot of music past year. I'm ever so sorry. I just want to apologise for that. Well, I do, Owen Wilson. I go, wow. I do it with the kids. Wow. No, but again, what would you do, Tom? What would you do? Say your neighbour suddenly barged his way into your house and started eating your food and putting his feet on your table, and just generally farting in your direction. What would you do? And he threatened to, I don't know, torch your house. What would you do? Would you just let him sit there and do all that? Or would you kick him out? You're in Zelensky's position now, Tom. What are you going to do? You've got to think it out, man. Got to think it out, Yeah, all politicians are bad. Absolutely. Thing is, right, is if Putin's medical condition is to be believed, right, he's not very well man, and you can tell he's rather pudgy. He's not the buff, lean Putin that we know. They reckon he's on a lot of steroids, and that can make you aggressive. It can also really alter your judgment. Again, you don't really want a leader zonked out on steroids, a little bit paranoid, a little bit, loopy, because they can make really bad decisions. And again, I think he thought that he was just going to walk in and everyone's going to welcome him because, again, in his mind, the world's full of Nazis and they were going to be throwing garlands and, kissing the troops. It didn't go like that. It didn't go like that at all. And I think it was a rude awakening. Again, I think we've moved beyond that kind of politics. Russia should have actually worked at becoming a a world power, a proper world power. Like China is a manufacturing hub, and it's quite happy. It goes on sometimes about I'm going to do it. But China looks at the world stage and goes, we're here. We are opening up. We're a manufacturing hub. We're moving into Africa because they're buying large chunks of Africa and South America because they're invading. A little bit of Chinese colonialism, but you won't hear anyone talking about that. Trust me. The amount of Chinese money that's sloshing around the world, it's colonialism, financial colonialism. That's interesting. But you won't hear Roger Waters talking about that. You won't hear him talking about that. And yeah, Russia should have looked at what China was doing and should have, they got massive areas of land for tourism. There could have been a manufacturing hub like China. There's so much potential in that country, and Putin's just pissed 20 odd years, longer than that, 30 odd years of goodwill up the wall, and that's sad. I don't blame the Russians. The Russians are told what to do by him. You've got to remember, this is a country founded on misinformation and propaganda. This isn't a country like us. This is a country that's been brainwashed, ever since they overthrew the Tsars, right? That's what Russia is. And it's only the younger generation who are plugged in have got, new media and everything that they understand what's going on. But the older generations, they believe all this stuff. And it's really sad. And it's sad to see Russia go down this route, I'm pro-Russia. If they wanted to be on the world stage, I want everyone to just get along. But you can't go around doing what Waters is doing. You've got to be a bit more, Oh, the boogeyman. The boogeyman, what did it? The boogeyman. A boogeyman. Do. It's the boogeyman. Tom says, on the other hand, I stumbled on a mini-series of McCartney and Rick Rubin having conversation about the Beatles and his career. I've watched it. It's rather good, and you will bathe in the genius that is Paul McCartney, for he is an absolute musical savant. It's sickening how good he is. He can just stand there and go, "Do you want to hear a tune?" And he'll do, and he'll just pull out a new tune out of his arse. Head. He's he really is the genius of the Beatles. He's the brain. He's the brain of the Beatles, and I think everybody likes to rubbish him, and it's a real shame because he is just Mr. Music. That's it. That's all he was ever born to do. There was an interview with him in the 60s. He's been interviewed, a black and white interview. He's a young man, and somebody said to him, "So, if you didn't have music, what would you do as a career?" And Paul McCartney's face kind of he glazes over, goes, "Oh, I really don't know." He kind of trails off. There's nothing beyond music for him, and it's fascinating. He really is. It's a good documentary, by the way. Rick Rubin's a bit of a blocker, but Paul McCartney's okay. So yeah, you'll enjoy that. Thing is, Tom, in Russia, there are many people suffering. Before the war, there are vast tracts of Russia that is incredibly deprived. Meanwhile, the oligarchs go around the world. This is the result of socialism, right? And I'm someone, who's, like I said, small socialism, believes that we should share. But what happened once that wall came down, once the Iron Curtain fell, Putin and his cronies got everything. The oligarchs. That's why the oligarchs started falling off their boats and everything, because all the money was kind of, sucked out of the country and invested around the world. All the resources, all the wealth of Russia was leached out, leaving who knows how many millions, billions, I don't know the population of Russia, destitute, poor, suffering, and it still goes on. They make no effort, they make no effort to revive these areas. It's just left to rot, and the people move to the cities, and many Russians now have even left Russia. They've headed west because there's nothing for them. Young Russians know that there's nothing there for them because of this self-destructive act by Putin. It's completely bonkers. But there you go. It's quite bonkers. No, I'm not playing quizzes. Oh no, hands are going to fall out. You can't say that. That's not nice. Can't say that about NATO and the EU. Look, I'm not a fan of the EU, but every country has a right to, self-determinism, and if they want to be a part of the EU, fine, good for them. But it's not the club that we signed up to back in the day. It wasn't the rich boys club. A lot of poor countries have joined. You know my reasons why. I think it's an unequal institution. And the Germans, I tell you, once they realise just how much they're propping up the entire EU, they'll start to get a little bit pissed off with it. But you can understand why poorer countries want to join it. It gives them certain economic hope and stability. Well, so they think, but what happens is they'll see a massive drain of people out of that country as they repopulate Europe, and again, that's part of the European experiment. Those chickens will come to roost one day. It, again, doesn't affect me because I'm not in the EU anymore. Hooray! Hooray! But have you seen the price of Lurpak? And as for NATO, again, if Russia wasn't Russia, we wouldn't need NATO. This is the delightful dilemma. If Russia was, after the Iron Curtain fell, we still had old Gorbachev, and old dancing Boris Yeltsin, I miss those guys. I miss those guys so much. Imagine if people like that had taken in, and Putin had, been shot. Imagine that it wasn't an ex-KGB gangster who got the presidency, and that they worked towards a more friendlier, open Russia. Imagine what would happen. There wouldn't be any need for NATO. NATO would have been folded up, and we wouldn't need it. But it's precisely because of what's going on in the Ukraine is the reason why we have NATO. Because it is a paranoid country, and it's fed paranoia by its media, and it's really sad. But there you go. Tom says, I watched the first chapter and it was quite good. Going to keep going. It is good. It's enjoyable, but then it's Paul McCartney. Can't go wrong. And says Ukraine is working on their corruption problem these days, which is a good thing. Every Eastern European country is corrupt. There's corruption everywhere. This is it, and that's another thing they think. Oh, do you know how corrupt Ukraine is? So they're an autonomous country. It's got nothing to do with me. Oh, have you heard about their Nazis? Again, nothing to do with me. Couldn't give a fuck. What? So we're going to invade because there are Nazis in Ukraine? No. Every country has a right to political self-determination. If they've got a left and a right wing, it's like if they're left-wing countries, so what? If they're a right-wing country, so what? They're allowed to have their own borders and to secure those borders. I might not agree with it, but that's the whole point of freedom, is things happen. Now, if Ukraine decides to invade Russia, I'll be saying, boo, bad Ukraine. If they had the same, civil rights abuses as, China and other countries around the world, I go, ooh, Ukraine, bad Ukraine. But by doing this, Ukraine's on the good step. Right, Putin put Ukraine on the good step, so there you go. Ooh. Kevin says, music really is Paul's life, absolutely. Russell says, it's difficult to imagine the Beatles without Paul McCartney. I don't think there would have been a Beatles, to be honest. He was the driving force. This is why they all got pissed off at him, because he's that good. And imagine, Lennon Lennon's good as well. And I think Lennon needed McCartney. He needed someone to spark off against. Some creative people need that. They need a foil, to really push them forward. And that's why them two are very productive together. And this is why, George Harrison is like, he just, again, George Harrison, great writer. But he looks at those two working and goes, where do I fit into all of this? You can see how, the dynamics were. And there's Ringo in the back just being cool and holding it together and getting fed up with the others arguing because he's the cool one, But no, I think, again, McCartney is... I think he's so important, I really do. National treasure. I think if I ever met him, I'd probably weep, actually. I'd probably break down. It'd be like touching some sort of musical god. It'd be like touching the face of God. And I think I'd probably be starstruck. I think he's the only musician I'd be genuinely starstruck at meeting. You know that. And he always puts everyone at their ease. He's very amenable and very personable as a character. But I always thought if there was one musician that would really leave me gobsmacked, it'd probably be meeting Macca. Not that I'm ever going to meet him, but I'd just be like, wouldn't you? Be like, it's funny. Yeah, it's just funny how we think of these things, isn't it? Where are we? Tom says there's also BBC on one of our interviews of each of the Rolling Stones. What's was still alive? Looks interesting. Oh, I think I might have watched that. Is it an old one? Yeah, I might have watched that one. Rick Rubin doesn't know anything about music. You do know that. He just sits there and goes, put some reverb on that. The echoey thing, reverb. That's all he does. Eric says, was that socialism that did that, or the collapse of socialism? Well, we had problems when the Iron Curtain was still up. No, the problem was Putin, rooting, tooting, shooting Putin. Rooting, shooting, tooting, Putin. He's the problem, and he's got progressively fucking loopy as the time's gone on. He was all right at the beginning, but he's always pushing. He's like the coercive partner who's pushing for more and more control. Imagine if, I don't know, Gorbachev had stayed. Imagine if Yeltsin had stayed, or people of that ilk who saw, the bad in the previous Russian organisation. Putin sees it as glorious. This is the problem. He doesn't want to modernise. Where are we? Adult parents, Putin. I keep telling you, Putin. It's Putin. Rooting, tooting, shooting, Putin. Russell says corruption destroys everything. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Eric says, saw a doc called Trauma Zone about the fall of the USSR. Tom says, I like this idea that someone says anything remotely critical of the West are automatically put into the pro-Putin run. It's true, Thomas. No, what I object to is when people say, oh, Putin's doing this, but look at what you've done. That's the problem, because it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't solve anything. That's not the game we're playing. Yeah, the West have done some crazy bad things. Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about at the moment. Concentrate on what's really going on, And if you think that Putin was manipulated by the USA into doing this, then he should never have been president. Remember? No? Convinces that's an Adam Curtis dog. Oh, I hate Adam Curtis with a passion. Oh, it's just a load of bullshit. Circular bullshit. No, the oligarchs were the design of Yeltsin and Clinton. Oh, no. Right. Now, you remember, do you remember the old days? Do you remember when Boris Yeltsin got on top of a tank? Do you remember that? When he took that tank to free what's his name? Gorbachev. Yeah? Here's a picture of that. Who's that there? Who's that there? That's your man Putin. There you go. There you go. Everywhere. Yeah. That was in 1991. Cool. Those were the days. Those were the days. Oh, he's a better one. Actually named them. Just looking at these old pictures of Yeltsin. I used to like it when he danced. He was so cute, wasn't he? He did a little dance. Oh, yeah, he's good. See, you want your leaders pissed and dancing. That's what you want. Pissed and dancing. Can't go wrong with that. Anyway. Oh God, is that the time? I think I've done enough. Yeah, I have. Jesus. Pink says, there's corruption in America too. South America even more. It's everywhere, of course there is. Vince says, I can't believe the title stream's the one where and didn't know of the Friends sitcom similarity. Well, I've never watched an episode of Friends, so it's the one where something happens. It's just a naming convention. It started years ago. You watch Friends, dear? I don't. I've never watched an episode, so. Pink says it's the reason why. Ross says Freddie Mercury would have been an amazing person to meet too. Yeah, I suppose so. If you like that sort of thing. Alex says, Darren, when Macca dies, we'll be up there with Bowie, if not more. Well, he's never going to die. The one where we're mean to Rick Rubin? No, it's the one where I whistled Tubular Bells. I think we'll go with that one. Pink says, I love Trump's pronouncer of China. China. Oh, Cat's Meow has given me money. I like that. I like you. You're my favourite. Forget Tom. He's rubbish. I like Cat's Meow now, look, because they've given me $5 and that'll pay for the rental of that film. Call you crazy? You're crazy. Stuart says, I'd love to meet Andy Phillips. Seems like a really nice bloke. Oh, a bit boring though. Bit boring. A bit dull, I'd imagine. Bit boring. Pink says, now you remind me of that awful BBC documentary, Some of the Parts. Funny thing you should mention that, because I watched that one and then I watched that afterwards, and that came across as wonderful in comparison. Seriously, I thought, I know this isn't good, but it's a hell of a lot better than that. And says, you say does not want Russia-Ukraine war to stop soon. All right, whatever you say. Pink says, Friends is overrated anyway. Okay. Yay, money. I love money. Tom says, I've lost my position. Just for tonight. Convince says, I ain't a Friends fan or watcher. It's just I'm surprised it's the only place I know that from. Oh, well, I just made it up. I didn't realise I I thought we needed to describe the stream, right? Because what can I call the stream? If I just call it the same thing every time, then people will think it's just the same thing every time. So I just said, again, something happened. I can't remember what the first one was called, and I've just called it the one where, I don't know, convinced of the heck said he didn't watch Friends or something. And that's just the way it went. And it's just stuck. I thought it'd be a funny naming convention. And then I think somebody else, I don't know, did somebody else ever mention it, that Friends was involved? They might have done. And I didn't think it was worth changing. I don't think Friends are going to sue me. But it was purely coincidental. Sorry. There's lots of things I've never watched, so, you know. So there you go. There's lots of excuse me. There's lots of television I haven't watched. It does make that one seem amazing. Thomas says, sorry if I offend you with my political stance. So I don't care. I'm just saying, you might want to just, you know, it's just, we can get carried away with conspiracy theories. We can get carried away with whatabouteries. The thing is when bad things happen, you have to call out the bad thing. In this, an invasion happened, and we've got to call that out, you know. And no ceasefire is going to stop it. A ceasefire might lead to talks, but I don't think Zelensky's in the mood to talk now, you know. I think that would have happened in the first couple of months, excuse me, when the whole thing happened. And that's why I say immediate withdrawal. And then they can talk about it. Thing is Zelensky wants Crimea back now. You know? And that's it. And, you know, I think this is on for the foreseeable. And there are 20 odd thousand Russian casualties, I reckon. Just keep going. They use prisoners, you know, they let the prisoners out and people out of mental institutions to fight. That can't be a healthy army. Indeed, politics. Russell says, perhaps Russia will enter a more Yeltsin era in a few years. Well, this is the thing. Who the next person is. There's no immediate successor to Putin. That's the worrying thing. Because the next man could be worse. I'm hoping that the next man will be progressive again and look at the economic damage that's happened and look at their reputation and come in and say, I'm sorry, we want to get back in everyone's good books. Because there's no need for any of this. This is the thing. It's a completely pointless war. This is fought purely to re-establish Russia back to what it was like, you know, back in the time of the Soviet era. He's having some sort of, I don't know, crisis. A steroid, you know, fueled crisis. But there you go. But hey, the Americans. It's the Americans what want it. Americans. It's all the Americans' fault. What else have we got? Big Bang Theory. Oh, I like that one. All started with the Big Bang. Hey, I like that one. I actually watched that one. I've seen episodes of that. I like that one because it's got nerds in it, and nerds are cool. You know, nerds are the best. I never said we weren't on the same page. It's you're saying, I don't know why people hate Roger Waters. Oh, Zelensky's a puppet president. Yeah, whatever. Hans has gone off the deep end as well. You off your meds again, mate? Oh, dear. Yeah, because it's America pulling the strings, isn't it? It's America. America want to destroy Russia. Woohoo! I hear the same old stuff. It's so boring. It's so utterly boring. You do know that, you know, Putin tried to put his own president in there. You know, he tried to destabilise Ukraine. You do know that. You've read that, haven't you? You know what went on. And that didn't work out too well. Because this is what they do. They try and destabilise regions. These nefarious people. He couldn't get his own way. Right? And so he invaded. But hey, let's blame the Americans. Again, if only, but he's had so many young women. This is it. He's been there, he's done that. That's not enough. He wants a country. Why have a sports car and a young bird when you can have a country? Phil Collins had a big midlife crisis. Well, look how it worked out for him. He should have just invaded Poland. Imagine that, if Phil Collins had invaded Poland. And on that, I think it's time to go. What a bombshell to end that on. Thank you for watching. That was my big birthday blowout. I'm sure everyone really enjoyed it. He went on about politics for too long. Look at him. He watches BBC propaganda. Zelensky's a puppet. Roger's great. Putin's just misunderstood. And all that stuff. All that good stuff. But there you go. I just want nuclear war. I want to see what happens. I want to know if it's really like, when the wind blows. I want to know if David Bowie starts singing when the nukes go off. That's what I want to know. It's going to be great. Thanks, Tom. Pinks. He says, bye, Darren. Hope you have a nice birthday week. Well, I'm working on it. Hopefully there'll be some presents tomorrow. And I'll be playing with me toys. No, I'm definitely going with the one whistling tubular bells, or Mike Oldfield. John says thank you, night, and thank you to everyone who said happy birthday. Thank you, big thank you for Cat's Meow for the money, because I love money. There's a button. Can somebody show him where the button is for the money? Just keep donating. And I suppose we'll do this again, I guess. I don't think there's any way out. Only the sweet release of death. Remember, folks, I only got about another 15 years left before I give up completely, before I pack up. Anyway, thanks for watching. That was the big birthday bash. Thank you for everyone for saying thanks to the birthday. Thanks for the money. And I'm off. Oh my God, John has given me $20. I've got to show everybody that. Now you just keep hanging on. Here we go. Thank you, John. That is very generous of you. You know that. It's very generous. Whoops. I haven't quite got it on the screen there. Thank you for being... I don't know what that is. Is that a pear? Thank you for being a pear. Am I a pear? I don't know. I think I'm more Mr. Potato Head. It all went in. Exactly. He went in all right. He doubled down. Thank you. Now, you're even more popular than Cat's Meow. I mean, this is amazing. But no, thank you for your generosity, everyone. Just thanks for coming every week. It's, it's humbling that, I know we talk. We can all be friends. We can have different opinions. We can all still be friends. I might tell you you're wrong, and you can tell me I'm wrong. I'm not going to be offended by it, because... at the end of the day, it'd be silly to fall out over bloody Vladimir Putin, wouldn't it? When I'm right anyway. I'm right. And thanks again. And that's that. Remember, folks, if you can't be good, be safe. But more importantly, don't tell your mother.